Good afternoon. As the death toll continues to rise in Pakistan following the devastating floods that have left thousands homeless and without clean water and food, relief agencies have launched massive operations to help those affected. Among them is the Midlands-based charity Islamic Relief, which has launched a £2 million fundraising campaign. Our reporter Colin Pemberton is at their Birmingham headquarters. Colin.
Yes, we're out at their main warehouse on the east side of the city of Islamic Relief, and as you can see, they collect piles of clothing here to sort and fly out as aid wherever it's needed in the globe. But on this occasion, it's not clothing they need, it's cash. Moustafa Osman is the head of humanitarian department at Islamic Relief. I think there are three phases to this cash aid. What's the first priority, Moustafa?
The first priority actually is to provide people with life-saving items. People now, they left their houses, their villages without anything. So we need to provide them with tents, blankets, bed sheets, water purification tablets, and all what they need to save their lives. After that, we maybe need to help them to clear up the muds and landslide and all of these things in order to ease the accessibility for the stranded people.
Because a lot is farming communities and they need to regenerate.
Definitely. After that, we have to move to help people to recultivate their land, because most of the agricultural land has been damaged or they have crop failures. So we need to help them with seeds, tools, in order to recultivate their land again and get them back to life back again.
And then briefly and finally, there's a prevention phase.
Definitely. The most important things we say, the best way to tackle disaster is disaster preparedness. We need to go to preparing and just do some prevention activities as a long term in order to avoid this happening again in the future.
Moustafa, thank you very much. We'll have to end it there. So clearly, every pound is well spent.
Colin, thanks very much indeed. And if you'd like to contribute to the Islamic Relief Appeal, then the number to call is 0800 520 0000. That's 0800 520 0000.
Good evening and welcome to Monday's Midlands Today from the BBC. Tonight, watching and waiting for news of their loved ones. The Pakistani community is rallying round tonight to send aid to the stricken country.
Around 27,000 people are stranded and at least 1,100 people have died in the worst floods for 80 years. It's now thought that more than 1.5 million people desperately need help in the Peshawar and Swat Valley areas.
First tonight, our reporter Colin Pemberton has been getting reaction from worried relatives and charities here.
Iram Khan in Birmingham had the comfort of a phone call from her father this morning, saying her parents were safe in the city of Dera Ismail Khan.
What my dad told me today was that they're getting donations, the local people. They're taking donations and then they're cooking really big pots of food, and then they're putting them into plastic bags and then trying to ship them over by either people walking or, because they can't use cars or jeeps to get into those areas.
Mark Doom Chishti was 18 when he was caught in the 1975 Pakistan floods. He recalled the floodwaters brought out particular dangers.
So there's a very poisonous snakes are there. So those comes out and then they stung the people, and mostly people die straight away. So that was the major issue for people in terms of health-wise.
4,000 miles from Pakistan in Birmingham, behind these walls, there's quiet organisation to get life-saving aid quickly to stricken areas. This is the operations room at Islamic Relief where they plan their aid programmes. And here this afternoon they're holding one of their daily telephone conference calls with 12 other aid agencies in the UK, the British Consortium of Humanitarian Agencies. Islamic Relief has launched a £2 million appeal. This time they don't want clothes but cash to buy vital items locally in Pakistan.
Such as food, non-food items such as tents, emergency shelter, jerry cans, mattresses, sleeping mats, and all those sort of kind of things.
And for many months to come, aid will be needed to build recovery of their huge rural economy. Colin Pemberton, BBC Midlands Today, Birmingham.
Charity workers who've just returned from the floods in Pakistan say the disaster is getting worse. A team from Birmingham-based Islamic Relief say much more money is needed to help the victims.
Well, the charity is hoping for a surge in donations during the Muslim holy month of Ramadan. Let's go over now live to our reporter Jackie Kabler in Birmingham. Jackie, people are collecting where you are now, aren't they?
That's right, yes. Fundraisers from Islamic Relief have been collecting money all day here in the supermarket. We'll talk to them in a moment. The response across the Midlands has been enormous. It's been really good. Lots of fundraising activity going on. But charities are warning tonight that the situation in Pakistan is worsening and that a lot more still needs to be done.
20 million people have now been affected by the flooding in Pakistan. The Birmingham-based Islamic Relief charity has managed to help thousands, and staff have just returned from the region where they met some of the victims.
He's been displaced by the floods. The floods come and wiped out his home and his area. I'm sitting here with a pot of lentils and some water.
In Worcester, these children were so moved by the TV footage they've made appeal T-shirts and gone out collecting.
Well, we were watching the news one day and we felt really bad for the people who were homeless and we thought we had to do something.
We thought it's not really good that they're suffering and we're fine, so we thought it's either going to be now or never, so we need to really help them.
The children's money will be given to the Red Cross and Disasters Emergency Committee appeals.
The DEC appeal has so far raised £15 million and Islamic Relief has raised a further £2 million, but more is still needed. So the charity has put up billboards to remind people just how serious the situation is.
Last night, Islamic Relief launched its Ramadan campaign in London, supported by Deputy Prime Minister Nick Clegg.
I think what you are doing is really an example to us all.
The charity says the response so far has been amazing, but more support is needed.
The response from the Midlands, especially with the huge Pakistani community that we have here in the Midlands, has been tremendous. People have been collecting money on the streets, they've been organising dinners, they've been phoning our hotlines, they've been phoning the DEC and wanting to help and support, and for that we're grateful and we urge people to continue to do that.
The Ramadan campaign is aimed at everyone, with the promise that every penny raised will help save lives.
Well, Islamic Relief originally set themselves a target of raising £2 million. They have now passed that. They told me tonight they've hit 2.7 million. Their new target is £5 million. Lots and lots of activity. Of course, there's all this collecting going on in the supermarket tonight. Major activities have been going on across the Midlands. Some of the very generous donors include Prince Charles, who's given a lot of money to the charity. And of course, though, the old traditional way of shaking a tin at shoppers still seems to be quite effective. And Mohib Rashid has been doing that. How's it been going today?
It's been going pretty well. You know, we anticipated a very slim response, but amazingly, a lot of people have been giving a lot of money, and it's very generous because they see their own kind in the stress that they're in. 20 million people displaced, and Islamic Relief is on the cover. You know.
You're doing a really good job. And despite the recession, you say people have been putting in £20 notes today.
Yes, they have actually, because they see that it's their own kind. You know, we have a lot of diverse people, and we have loads of people giving in money. It's just a great sight to see.
Really well. Well, good luck with that. Thank you very much. And of course, this isn't just a short-term project. Initially, it's emergency aid that's needed, but of course, there'll be lots of rebuilding and regeneration going on for many years. So every penny counts, and the charity says, please give what you can.
Jackie, thank you very much indeed.
Yes, and if you want to donate money to help victims of the flooding, you can do so via the Disasters Emergency Committee on their website. That's DEC. The head of humanitarian operations at Islamic Relief in Birmingham says the aid response from the West Midlands for flood victims in Pakistan has been marvellous.
Moustafa Osman has just returned from Pakistan and says aid is getting through and saving lives. Colin Pemberton reports.
What's going on now? We are distributing a vital hygiene kits to the people in the area here.
Moustafa Osman in the Charsada district of northwest Pakistan organising aid distribution. He was seeing for himself how the cash donated in the West Midlands is being spent and delivered to the tens of thousands displaced by the floodwaters.
Spit Khan here, he makes his living from agriculture or cultivating a piece of land which is completely flooded here. Him and his family.
Mr. Osman returned to the Digbeth headquarters of Islamic Relief in Birmingham last night.
People get aid, but it is challenging. It needs extraordinary efforts in order to reach people by all means. We have to use boats, helicopters, and also sometimes mules and donkeys in order to reach people. But aid is coming through, aid reaching people.
Across the UK, the amount donated to the Disasters Emergency Committee is now £29 million. £3.5 million of that has gone through Islamic Relief. Of that, £500,000 has come from the West Midlands. Islamic Relief's aid is being concentrated on these districts. Charsada was one of the worst hit. It's where the family of a Birmingham University student live. He's raised £500 in his Department of Chemical Engineering.
Our house was just like really in the nick of time not being flooded. But all my cousins, my aunts and my grands, everyone else, they were just like their houses were completely engulfed by the water.
This afternoon, tents left behind by the thousands of music fans at the V Festival in Staffordshire were being collected to be sent out to Pakistan. And Islamic Relief hope they can lift their aid total from that £500,000 to £3 million. Colin Pemberton, BBC Midlands Today.
An incredible effort so far, but if you wish to make a donation to help those affected by the flooding in Pakistan, the number for the Disasters Emergency Committee is 0370 60 60 900. It's just on your screen there, 0370 60 60 900, and the web address is dec.org.uk.